So this is Fly Ash to Blacksville, part 1. We'll do part 2 perhaps tomorrow. Driving a CSX SD40-2 on the Norfolk Southern Coal District. Put my teeth back in. Norfolk Southern Coal District route. In fact, that reminds me, let's get the promo updated on the right. That didn't fit, did it? Oh well. Operating instructions. It's recommended that you disable the alert and ATC for this run. So the reason for that is that this loco is actually meant to be used on the New York-New Haven route, which has got all the in-cab signalling up here on it. So they don't exist on this route because it doesn't use it, and that will cause a problem. So Mon Valley Dispatch of CSX Extra. Units just cleared Jimbo and you have the signal. Subject to further signal indications, you have clearance to proceed westward. Dispatcher out. Let's get going then. Ease up on the throttle, take up the slack on the train. Once we're all moving, then we can put a bit more on. Now we're going over the bridge here in we're near West Brownsville, I think it is, and that's a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit, so we're not going to put too much speed on at this point. Hey Akit, welcome to the channel, thanks for joining us tonight. Hey Tim, thanks for joining the channel, good to see you tonight. So we've got a kind of an amber aspect. My American signal aspect is not quite as good as it should be. It's like a medium or something. Get some headlights on there. What am I doing here? Bad engineer. Something to remember, the New York-New Haven SD40-2 has actually got the revised braking system on it, so it doesn't work quite the same as the other ones do. Although that said, this is a standard scenario, not a career, so my bad driving isn't going to get put on my permanent record. I probably should still make an effort to do better though. Hi Ek, what am I using to control it all? If you mean what am I using to drive the trains, my keyboard, pretty much. A little bit of help with my mouse, nothing too fancy. Although when I'm at work, I must admit I've got an Xbox 360 controller, which I really like. Looks like we've still got clearance to proceed, so I will proceed. How about you, Ek? What are you using to drive? Yes, Doc, this is the Fly Ash to Blacksville scenario by Elbaba's Workshop. always a good scenario for Melfaber. Always a good scenario. Notch down, bring it back down to run 0, and got to keep in mind we're still in this 10 limit for quite a while, given the length of our train. Yeah, well, the thing to do there is to keep an eye on Steam. I'm sure they usually have a sale. They just had a sale, in fact. We usually try and do our best to make sure that we do some great deals, particularly for newcomers for the hobby, but also for people who are already still using the game who want to add to their collection. So yes, if it's not something you can afford right now, do keep an eye on Steam, and yes, you might find it a price that's it better suits your wallet. So this side of the route is really interesting. So we're basically in Brownsville, or going through Brownsville, and this particular bit of the route is really interesting because we're actually going to do a load of street running. You can see the street just coming up at the moment, and it's just a really different experience. Okay, fundamentally it's just driving a train on the rails. How different can it be? But it's just different. You've not got the, you can't see the sleepers, you can't see the ballast. It's concrete all around. It feels like we're driving on the road. Just feels wrong. Trains don't go on the road. Hey MMR2, thanks for joining the channel. Appreciate the follow. So imagine you're sitting on your porch, and then this thing comes along. And then you have to see these things up close to appreciate just how big they are. And if all you've been used to is a British train or even a German train, it's they dwarf in comparison to these things. Absolutely massive. So I'm standing on my porch, this train comes rolling down the hill. Wow. See, I would find that a really fun place to live. My wife may disagree with me. Actually, she may not. And that's all there is to it. Don't worry about it, Hack. Don't worry about it at all. It's not a problem. Hope you're able to get the game at some point and you're able to enjoy it, and you can come back and tell us on the channel about how much you're enjoying it. In the meantime, stick around, tell us about what you want to do with the game and what you want to see on the channel in the future. Just notch up a bit. We're down at 7. We're not going to get scored on timings, so I'm taking it fairly relaxed. I imagine they run through, even though it's low speed limit. I can imagine they run through here pretty slow because normally you'd have cars moving around and people, heaven forbid, children. So it's all slow running. definitely got a lovely American feel to it, this route. Just want to pop out to a Popeye's chicken and biscuits or a Arby's. Get something nice to eat. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Don't have them over here. Hey Simel, thanks for joining the channel. Good to see you again. Hope everything is well with you. There we go. This is a fairly common place. The church in the background, the railroad crossing. Apologies for the ringing noise, but that's completely authentic. So why should I apologise for it? So we've got the SD40s coming up here. If you've only just seen us join the channel, we're on the Norfolk Southern Coal District route, running a user-created scenario that we downloaded from Workshop called Fly Ash to Blacksville. So we're driving these CSX SD40-2s, which actually came as part of the New York New Haven train pack route. So we're just coming off of the street running section. We've got a green signal. I'm going to get back in the cab. So even though we're just about to pass into a 30 limit, of course speed limits only take into effect once the entire length of the train is in. So we're actually going to be hitting the nose on the 40 speed limit marker down there before we actually can get you up to the 30. It's not a coal train because it's just a bit different, train driver. There's lots of coal trains that come with the pack, and I think the author of this scenario wanted to explore something different. Fly ash is apparently completely prototypical. It's if we read the description, it actually explains all the detail of it. So I'll leave you to read that because I will get it wrong. I think with the gradients that this train is on, a pair of SD40s is quite capable of hauling it, certainly at slow speed. I don't know how heavy this particular train is, but yeah, it's certainly capable of hauling at a low speed, and the gradients aren't particularly bad on this route, so it's yeah, it should be fine. Hi Simel, how's it all going? Hey Paul T, sorry, just saw your greeting there. Hope everything's well with you. And Scripps, thanks for joining the channel and thanks for the follow, much appreciated. Just noticed my speed there creeping up. Careful, careful. Not going to lose any points, but that's not the point. See what I did there? Still a little while before we can get this train moving a little bit faster. Hey, Smell. Sounds like have you tried rebooting your computer, perhaps? I wonder whether or not there's something going on. I've noticed a couple of times that certainly this computer has had a problem, and that seems sort of the same jumpy symptoms seem to have happened. And a reboot's generally fixed it, but it might be worth double checking to see if you've got any processes that are running a bit wild and maybe pruning them off a little bit as well. Just notching the throttle up every now and again, balancing up the speed, keeping it going. It's only a dozen or so wagons left by the looks of it before we hit the 30 limit becomes eligible for us. Almost exactly when our train hits the 40 limit by the looks of it. And we're in the 30s. Let's get this train going a bit faster. Thing to note is to not ever change the speed of your train too quickly. Just because with a train this long, there's an awful lot of forces going up and down the train, and there are different gradients, different curves, and even the couplers, of course, have got a bit of spring in them. So what you want to do is make sure you're always making small changes and not just ramming it up to notch 8 and saying, "Yee-haw, good buddy." Check out the views over here. Wow. Trees. Chop them down. Spoiling the views. Then again, without the trees, what views would we have? Get back in the cab, man. So the next waypoint is Arc Main 2 in just under 10 miles. We're due there in 25 minutes. Although that's just an ETA, there's no scheduled time. And that is actually just before our scheduled stop at Gate in a little over 10 miles. Hey Jamie, welcome back to the channel this evening. Okay, we're in the 40 now, so I'm going to notch up a little bit more. Let's go notch 8 yeehaw, good buddy. Hi Jamie, please do, please do. It's about trains, it's all good. Wow, Jamie, that is a stunning photograph of a stunning loco. Brilliant, well done. Hi Sam, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you again tonight. Hi Crazy Brooklyn. The closest you can get to the New York City subway is literally to be in around New York area. We've got the Northeast Corridor from, I think it's Philadelphia to Penn Station in New York City, and then we've got the New York New Haven line, which runs from Penn Station and Grand Central Terminal up to New Haven. Which gives you the Metro North local services, so you can run things like Kawasaki M8 multiple units on the Metro North line, or high speed Acellas and ACS 64s on the Northeast Corridor part of the route. But we don't actually have New York City subway at this point. The closest that I've seen, well, you can get the New York subway, I think it's called The Path, which is a product from TML Studios, which is a completely dedicated standalone train simulator. Actually, it was the first one they did in their World of Subways series, and very good it is too, actually, for their first offering, which gradually got much better throughout their German and British offerings. So we're on about notch 3, running at 34.5 miles per hour and gently accelerating, so we just need to keep an eye on that. We've got 7 3/4 miles to get to Arc Main 2, and so far everything's in the green. Hey there, Liz Zocker. No, seriously, there needs to be a pronunciation guide with people's usernames. L12P Zocker and Dean FFC, welcome to the channel, guys. Folks, shouldn't assume, should I? That's really not good. Thanks for joining us. we're coming close to the 40 limit now, so I'm going to just notch down a little bit. We're also going down a hill, so I'm conscious that the train will start driving itself and I might need to be driving it. So yeah, let's just keep an eye on that. Might need to notch back a bit more and get ready for some brakes. Across the top of the screen there, you'll see all the social media links for Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. What I generally do is Facebook is where I sort of generally waffle when I'm not waffling here. Sometimes I waffle there and here simultaneously, and that's generally where you'll find bad scores in my scenarios. On Twitter, I generally just have a look around and see what people are saying. If you want to say something, send me a message, then do that. Feel free to do that, Twitter or Facebook. I try to reply to everything that comes in. And on YouTube and Twitter, Twitch, I keep getting my Twitch systems wrong. So on YouTube and Twitch, what I generally do is I do the broadcasts obviously on Twitch, and then I cut out highlights. So each individual scenario gets cut out into a highlight. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. Right. So each individual scenario gets cut out into a highlight, which is then available for you to watch anytime you like, video on demand on Twitch. And I then also push that up to YouTube as well, so it's available on YouTube as well. So if there's anything you want to see that we've done in the past, they're all there for you to look at. Mostly warts and all. If it's really a disaster, then I tend not to put it up. But I tend to think this is a see the good and the bad, so it's all there. Enjoy. Feel free to let me know what you think about what we're doing and what we're doing with each media channel, and I'll try and make it better for everybody. Oops, I started that a little bit late, but never mind, at least we got some horns going. Very good, Jamie. Okay, we're coming to a 30 limit, which obviously takes effect at the beginning of the train, in contrast to the rear of the train. So let's get the brakes applied and get slowed down. There we go, we're slowed down and ready for the launch. Well, I don't know, Dark. I think You Twitface sounds like a name that a lot of people probably would remember, actually. Now we're in the 30 limit, so we're a bit under 4.5 miles now. 30 speed limit, and still cruising strong. Now I'm starting to wish there was a score on the scenario. Although it's a good job I don't get scored for crossings. Here's one now. Hang on. It was a long, short, long, but it wasn't actually to length. Apparently they're supposed to be 5 seconds each, those longs. Greetings, Alex. Welcome back. notch up a bit. There's a whistle board there. How many miles down the track is this crossing? Oh, there. Limit coming up ahead, at 3.5 miles away now from our waypoint. Still getting green signals though, which is a good sign. How many cars? Yeah, lots. I don't actually know, and I haven't been brave enough to count them. But yes, there's a lot there. When Alphabet does a scenario, they're accurate. While I'm jabbering, I'm forgetting that I've got a 15 limit speed coming up here. Let's get that dealt with. Right, that's a minimum service application applied. Let's get the train slowed down. And I missed that crossing. You heard all of the other horns. Of course you did. Of course you did. Of course, I probably should have released the brake as well. Never mind. Let's get going again. I just wanted to test to make sure the brakes were working. Anyone believe that? Of course you did. Hey, Joint DK, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us. And I missed it, but thanks for the follow, new image, much appreciated. So we're just coming into a 15 limit. We're a bit under 2.75 miles to our waypoint, which is actually not far from the ultimate stopping point for this scenario anyway, so we're nearly there. Hey, Joint DK. It's yeah, it is good to see people playing the game, and there weren't enough people playing it on Twitch, so that's why I thought I would inflict my playing skills on everybody. So yes, now you know what to do. I take it you've got the game then. If so, what's your favourite route? What's your favourite train? What's good for you in the game? Hey there, Cakewalk. Ah, we have a message. Mont Valley dispatcher to CSX Extra 8850 West. I have 2 eastbound coal trains out of Waynesburg. Expect to meet N22 lead unit Norfolk Southern 9305 between Ark and Gate, and then to hold at Gate for a meet with N17 lead unit Norfolk Southern 8012. Dispatch out. So we've got one that we're going to meet up with at somewhere between Ark and Gate, and then we're going to get held up once we get to Gate. And Gate is where the scenario ends. Hey there, Cakewalk. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Oh really? Said, go on, hit me with it. Tell me what your problems are with 15. So those wacky camera movements are why I generally don't do them, because I'm sure it makes people a bit queasy. Hey dog, people can complain as much as they want. Complaining is good. It's only how we make things better. So absolutely do not hold back. Let me have it. Full bars. Hey Jan, welcome to the channel. Good to see you, mate. Jan, sorry, apologies. I will be driving trains from Virtual Railroads Cakewalk at some point. I'm not going to be this evening, but yes, I certainly will be at some point. Lots of questions going on. Right, train driver 25. Do I know much about computers? Yes, I've been in the computer industry pretty much all my career. Yeah, all my career. So, software engineer, network support, systems administration, until I started here, where I've been doing third-party management, and now I'm doing game design for a certain new train simulator. Do I use rail driver controls? No, I used to, but I must admit that with the way that the rail driver works, I'd find it a bit fiddly sometimes, and the accuracy on the levers, certainly on the units I've tried, has always left me a bit wanting. So in terms of physical controller, if I don't want to use the keyboard, which generally is my favourite because I find it the most precise, I generally go with the Xbox controller because I'm very comfortable that I can get the level of precision that I want out of the levers. Which probably sounds very counterintuitive. The Xbox controller is hardly representative of the way a real rail locomotive is driven, but try it. It's good. Is that another whistle board coming up for me to make a fool of myself at? Excellent. I think trying to get good and cheap into the same package is probably going to be difficult. Cheap and gaming are also going to be difficult. I think it's very much going to be regional. I mean, personally, I like Dell laptops. My one's a Dell laptop, and it served me very, very well. My kids have got Dell laptops as well, and they're excellent too. They were quite reasonably priced, and they were exceptionally good performance. They were Dell Latitude machines. Hey Mike, good to see you on the channel. Thanks for joining us again. I think when you're looking at the spec for your laptop there, Train Driver, one of the key things you want to be looking for NVIDIA GeForce or ATI AMD Radeon graphics. A lot of the cheap laptops have got Intel graphics on board, and they call it, you know, they claim that their game is good for gaming and so forth, but they really aren't. Certainly not for a train simulator. So, we're in 20 limit. Let's speed up a little bit. Yeah, you want to have enough RAM. I would say 8 gigs is probably enough. You want to have a decent CPU. Core i5 is enough. That's all my machine is at work. The key thing is to get decent graphics. Make sure it's GeForce or Radeon. And make sure it's modest. It doesn't have to be high spec, it just has to be modest to get reasonable frame rates. Most laptops are going to come with a 5400 RPM spin disk, which is reasonable. They're not ideal, but it's getting a 7200 spin disk on a laptop bumps the price up quite considerably, and the benefit probably isn't worth it. There are other places you could spend the money more effectively. Well, personally, I'd use Windows 8.1 for an operating system. I find that the most efficient so far. So that's the things to go for, really, is just to make sure that whatever laptop you choose has got that NVIDIA GeForce or AMD Radeon graphics on it. Because if it doesn't have those, it's not going to work. So, new image, how often am I on this channel with this particular sim? I only do this sim because I work for the company that make it, and it happens to be my favourite game on the PC. I may be biased. So I tend to broadcast most evenings from 9:30, usually for 2.5, 3 hours. It depends how long the scenarios run. I try and run at least 2 scenarios, but I don't generally do more than 3. And I also try and cover a little bit of a mix between America and Germany and the UK, although less of the German ones, I must admit, because I'm just not very good at their signalling system. But I'm going to break that habit tonight, and after we finish this scenario, we're going to be popping over to the Cologne-Koblenz line for a quick run. Why do I put the bell and the horn? American railway routes, as Dark says, you've got to do a long, long, short, long. Here comes that train we were told about, Norfolk Southern train, and we're going round on the other side. And I imagine the other end of this loop is where we get stopped. Jan's something of a signalling expert, so I'm now daunted. He's going to be telling me everywhere I get it wrong, and that's fine. It's great to have people like Jan to talk to, who can educate me and tell me everything I need to know. It will be, so what I've done is I've already run one of the scenarios so that I don't make a total fool of myself. So the scenario I'm going to run is a run from Cologne to Bonn, driving in the cab car with the 146.2 pushing. It's got some really nice weather patterns in it, which I quite enjoyed. So they're a bit different, a bit scripted, and it gets extremely wet. So as we passed over out Main 2, it told us our next destination was Gate Main 2, where indeed we're going to stop. So we're going to have a stop signal. See, I know the name of that one. Merry Christmas to you, Joint. Merry Christmas to everybody watching. And season's greetings for those that prefer it. So we're just finishing up flyers to Blacksville on Norfolk Southern Coal District. It's one of the scenarios from Steam Workshop that was uploaded by El Faba's workshop, Gary Dolezal. Highly recommend any of the scenarios that Gary does. Definitely, they're all good. Yes, we should be just coming up here. We look, our train is here. We're coming to a stop somewhere in Gate Main 2, which will be at a red light ready for the next train. Number of 2, where is this in America? So this is in the Pennsylvania area, if I remember correctly. We started in a place called Brownsville, and it goes to a couple of. It's a mining road. I will find out exactly in a minute. Yes, I was right, it is Pennsylvania. So we're in the section now for Gate Main 2, so we could stop anywhere along here, but I'm just going to come up to where the signal is a little bit closer, and then we'll bring it to a stop there. Unstoppable is an awesome film. Really enjoyed it. You've got to kind of leave a lot of things at the door because there's a number of things that don't make sense, but it's a good, entertaining film. here is where we come to a stop. Hey, new image, this sim does have weather effects, and in fact in the next scenario you're going to see them in spades. How does it work with add-ons for TS? You bought TS 2013 and it's updated to 2015. Do the add-ons from this year too also working? So if you have any version, here we go, let's just finish the scenario. Well done, we'll luckily with several minutes awaiting the N17 train, so take a break, scenario complete. So there is a second part of this scenario, Flash to Blacksville Part 2. Crazily named, I know, and we'll try and do that one tomorrow night or sometime later in the week. Right, I'm going to switch it back to changing route, and then I will carry on answering train driver's question.